going? My name is Garrett Hill, and this is my board meeting. I'll give you a rundown of some of my favorite pro board graphics since I've gone pro. This here is my very first pro board graphic. It came out 3 years ago. One of my favorite Zero Spheres of all time has been Trainwreck. He had a lot of jack-o'-lantern graphics. That's kind of where I got this idea from. I thought it'd be cool to paint homage to Trainwreck and have a jack-o'-lantern as my first graphic. I was incredibly proud of this when it came out. It's pretty incredible seeing your name on a board. This was also one of the first boards that I had come out. Super cool artist who obviously has incredible detail on a lot of his boards. I'm super into Harry Potter and wizardry and stuff like that, so he picked a wizard floating on this like palette of earth, and I thought the whole series looked really, really cool next to each other. This one's interesting. When I was on Flow for Zero when I was 15 years old, I had a lot of nicknames, and those are all pretty much thanks to Jamie Thomas. But one of his favorites was Don Flamenco, was a character in Super Punch-Out. So in my second box, he had painted this by hand, and it says Flamenco, and he spray painted it, and he always fought with a rose in his mouth on Flamenco. And he found a rose stencil and spray painted it on there. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever, having a handmade board from Jamie. I was just a 15-year-old kid. And it skated up because I ran out of boards in my box. I needed to go skate, so I skated the handmade board. I landed my trick, but I'm still really upset that I had to do that. Kind of hurts telling that story over again, actually. This was a fairly recent board graphic that came out when we were doing advertisements for Zero Strange World, and I really, really like this board graphic because the ideas behind it were really, really different and interesting. What they did was they would take two images on a projection screen and lay them over each other, so they kind of blend in, and this got really, really good reviews. Like, everybody liked this series. It was super different. I'd never seen anybody do that before. So what you can pretty much notice, there's a theme of a lot of red and a lot of top hats. As a kid, I was super influenced by the White Stripes, super influenced by Jack the Ripper, Willy Wonka, a lot of whimsy stuff, people who had top hats, super weird stuff. So that's pretty much what they pull a lot from when the art team gets together and thinks of, you know, a graphic for me. I like to be a part of the board graphic making process as much as I can, because I think being a pro means you really should have pride in everything that comes out, especially if your name is on it. This, obviously, I'm incredibly proud of. It's my first old school board graphic. Never really thought that I would get an old school board graphic. I always thought jesters were super cool for some reason. Just the way that they looked and talked and dressed, they were super macabre. I was like, well, those things are kind of the thing of the past, you know what I mean? They're like really old, but still really awesome, just like an old school board. A lot of people were shocked kind of at this board series because they pulled in an artist from Spain. And I mean, just looking at it, it doesn't typically look like a Zero board. Like, it's really, really different and abstract. And I just thought it was super cool, like when a company does that, switches things up a little bit and, you know, surprises people and catches people off guard. The Gravedigger is one of my favorite. That was also one of my first board graphics. I love the way that that came out with sunken eyes. If I was gonna get any of these tattooed, it'd probably be that one, which is actually probably gonna happen soon. I feel like this one seriously sums up my personality almost perfect. Even with the colors, like the swirly black and purple colors. Top hats, obviously, huge fan. It's got the 10/6, like the Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter was a huge influence to me when I was growing up. This is in a series of just collage pictures. So we actually got a chance to go through and pick out photos of our own to put in these little squares. So it, you know, it gives it that mosaic effect. And a lot of funny stuff ended up coming in here. There's a lot of photos of me walking in the hills with a cane. I got my old guitar in here. That's a sword from Lord of the Rings. I took it at my parents' house. can't see it in that photo, but I carved Wayfaring Stranger into the headboard of that rocking chair, and we set it on fire and kind of aged a bit. That was a lot of fun putting that together. Take the skin off of my face, and that's me. That was in a series of them just playing with the signature classic skull and just adding stuff. I think Tommy had like bones and Cole had his painted face. It was just fun. We were just, you know, playing with a really iconic board graphic. My main pride and joy, this little guy. I didn't even know that this came out, and I got this as a Christmas present. And I was so blown away that I had no idea that that got made. And I never really thought of how cool it would feel to see a board graphic of yours as a tech deck, as a toy. So when I got that, I was seriously really happy and shocked, kind of. I was like, oh, that's my board graphic. I love that board graphic. Now it's a toy. I'm Garrett Hill, and thanks for checking out my boards. This meeting is adjourned.